The magnificent Kimberley region in the north of WA is on the list of every adventurer. But recently, there's a whole lot more than tourism happening up here. Now this is quite interesting. See, I was driving along here, and when you cruise through the landscape here of Kununurra and its surrounding areas, you'll find that it's made up of this network of irrigation channels, and its backdrop is absolutely stunning. It's this very red, kind of rugged breakaway country with these beautiful headlands. Now the feeling with the locals here in this area is that this country is very much in its infancy, and just about anything you choose to grow here has the likelihood of becoming a success story, which makes me think the future of this place has to be absolutely massive. It is vital to the food supply of the rest of Australia. None of it would be possible, however, if it wasn't for the Ord irrigation scheme. And at its heart is Lake Argyle, Australia's largest artificial lake by volume. The thing about this area is because there's so much water around, everything here is just so colourful and so vibrant, and it grows so vigorously. Has its problems though. This time of year, places like this Ivanhoe crossing here are actually impassable by vehicles. The fishermen love it though. They walk across here, it has its dangers, it's actually flowing of course, it's quite slippery. They wrap their legs around these pylons and they cast into this deeper water. And I'm told, if they're lucky, there's a chance they'll catch a really decent sized barramundi. Of course, up here, it's not just the trucks that seem oversized, it's the beautiful landscapes that just seem to roll on forever. And there's one that's just up the road that's simply breathtaking. It's the Bungle Bungles. But first, meet Colin. So Colin, I remember driving through here, past this place probably a couple of years ago, and it was just a big bunch of grass and paddock. Well, you've really made a change here, haven't you? You've set up this caravan park. Why'd you do that?
Jack Burton, who owns the property here, asked me to do it, to come along and put a caravan here and start up a tour company. So we sat down around a table one night and a couple of drinks, and next day we were out here after we got the approval and started cutting some grass and putting a few campsites in and a bit of electricity and some water, and it all happened.
I guess this is the reason why it's important to hang out with a local, mate. These are quite interesting. What are these little berries?
It's a conkerberry. It's just bush tucker and great little fruit to eat.
Are they?
Come get a bowl of them after dinner. No sweets if you had a bit of kangaroo tail or something, and then this for sweets afterwards.
Oh, I can't wait. That kangaroo tail idea sounds really good.
Well, we can go out and get this afternoon and on the barbecue.
Fortunately, I have hamburger in the car. Because Colin's safari-style camp has been set up right on the main highway at the beginning of the track into the Bungles, it now means travellers who might be restricted, say towing a caravan, can call it a base before tackling the 50-odd k's of river crossings and corrugations that lead you into the park. The track was dusty, it was windy, but it's been worth it. This is the Bungle Bungle range. I'm nearly there. These are 365 million years old. They're sandstone domes, they're the most photogenic, they're unique, they're absolutely stunning. Can't wait to get down. Flying over these remarkable formations gives you an incredible perspective of this ancient, almost mystical land. The tallest peaks down there rise nearly 600 metres above sea level. In 2003, the area was granted World Heritage status. Now within the Purnululu National Park, there's several walks. There's Piccaninny Creek Gorge Walk, which goes for 2 to 7 days depending on how much energy you got. There's Echidna Chasm, really easy, really quick. And of course there's this one, which is Cathedral Gorge. It's easy, it's accessible, it's my kind of walk, and at the end I'm really hoping there's a beautiful photograph. Of course, a good image is all about finding the best light. And as the sun begins to fall and shadows fill the land, I suddenly feel a sweat come over me. After all, this is a long way to come to miss my shot. I tell you what, you can see why the tourists love it here, even though it's not the wet season, which would have made this a riverbed at the time. These domes are just getting thicker and thicker and bigger. And of course in the background, the helicopter, the sounds of a helicopter. And why wouldn't you? Get up in the air. I think I might try that later on. Now, as a photographer, there's a couple of ways to approach this. So I have visited this area before, so I have a bit of an idea of a couple of favourite spots that I might visit. But basically, there's the Cathedral Gorge, which is in shadow. So I was thinking about looking for a puddle maybe there's some water around. We saw some on the river crossings on the way in. Perhaps using that to reflect some of the domes when the sun's setting on and they're gone bright red. I reckon that'd be an awesome shot. This is a terrific track too. You have this wonderful 360-degree view as you pass on through. One of the interesting things about these sandstone domes, they call them beehives, is the different layers, the black and red layers. What it is this different porosity, so the more porous material in sandstone is the black, which attracts cyanobacteria. It stays moist long enough for them to grow there, whereas the red simply doesn't. So you get these wonderful banded layers. Now, could you imagine this in the wet season with all the water around? That becomes a waterfall flowing down here, hitting the ground, beautiful river running through the beehives. Of course, it's quite inaccessible that time of year, but at the moment, it's just a sort of a green, sort of smelly puddle. There's no photo for me here today. I think I'll move on. Now, this is a photographer's dream right here. This is something I've been looking for many years visiting this area. This is a pool of water, but it's come down. It's usually dry. This time of year is just magical. Obviously, there's still a bit around. And it means that I can reflect those beehives at sunset. Light's a bit harsh at the moment, so I'll come back to it. But yeah, it's quite incredible, isn't it? Well, I made it. Have a look at this. Of course, it's one of the most striking, probably I think the most stunning land formation in the whole Bungle Bungle range. It's Cathedral Gorge. The cliffs are 300 feet above me. Water rushes down here in the wet season where that black mark is and flushes out all the softer sediment. And it is the most amazing amphitheatre. Perfectly named, the Cathedral Gorge. It's not what I want to photograph for sunset though. I reckon the beehives has my money on it. Now, I should say that travellers to this neck of the woods have come unstuck in the past. The terrain out here throws up many surprises. In fact, it's caught me out once or twice, and when I've been in a pickle, I've quickly realised how alone I really was. Well, as beautiful as Cathedral Gorge was, I mean, how great is this? You can see the light's just starting to skim the top of these beautiful red domes here. It's ambient light that I'm after. It's just so still here too. All you can hear is the cicadas, and there's not even a breath of wind. It's been such a wonderful day. I haven't even left yet, but I seriously can't wait to come back.